Alright, so my season's over. Figured I'd do another video showing everything I've got and have found this year and what I've got over my whole time of collecting. And I reorganized a little bit, moved some stuff around. We'll start over with this guy. I got him this summer. Found him 31 inches, I believe. So he's not giant, but he's definitely Ice Age. I wish that one horn wasn't broken. Got a lot of his teeth, most of them. Both of his eye sockets. This was my previous best. That's 31, that's a female. And some of the stuff I've got set up. Hooves and toes and cannon bones. This is what most of them look like when they come out of the creek in my area, or my main creek. And this is what they look like after I've coated them. I like that coating. Most people don't, but I do. Some nice big jaws. Really nice scapula. And you can see them really nice big femurs and humerus. And those two thoracics in the corner. I don't know if you can tell from the video, but even though it's broken, it's not quite as tall. This one is an Ice Age. This is an Antiquus. And this is modern. And even though that's longer, you can tell just by how thick and heavy this is. That'd be the Ice Age. That's a nice girl. We get a couple babies down here. That one there is an odd one. I've been told cow, but it's shaped like a bison, but the horns are just odd. A little baby. Rarely do you find those intact. They're almost always busted. Some ribs. These are kind of rare sternums. That big one in the back, I believe, is cow because it's really light. It's not mineralized at all. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera here. But like this one, there's chop marks in there. That one, that vertebra, looks like it maybe took a spear. Just my guessing, but and this one looks like it might have taken an arrowhead. But I mean, it's just kind of guesswork. I'm not an expert. This is kind of a cool reference. This is a really old mature bison because it's got arthritis and everything, so it's a bit old one. This would be an Antiquus cannon bone. And I believe this is a latifrons, which for this area would be very rare. Nice teeth. I really suck at spotting arrowheads and points, but this is what I've got. Got this guy here just a few weeks ago. It's a nice one. I got 3 awls. A little preformed club or axe or something. I got several guys here that have arthritis or some sort of damage. This is a baby bison tibia. But it was busted and it healed really messed up. But then he still didn't make it to adulthood. And I've got some here that have bite marks in them. Like you can see the top of that one. That's kind of cool. This is a neat one. This is a part of an elk antler. I assume that's elk. I kept it just because it's really cool. It's been so chewed up by rodents. Just chewed the heck out of. Really big elk antler I found. That makes that guy look tiny because it's so much bigger around. Now here's another cool display. So that front cannon bone there would be deer. That next one's elk. I bought that next one. You can tell it's bleached. It's modern moose. And that one is a stag moose. So look how much bigger than a elk or a moose he is. And that another one behind is broken. And that thing there that looks kind of like a paddle, that's antler. I believe that's stag moose. A really bad condition when I found it. It's actually busted into 3 pieces. And it's being held together with zip ties. A wolf jaw, bear jaw. There haven't been bear around here for quite a while. That's a weird little thing. I've got 2 of those. Someone in the area used to raise emu. So that's an emu pelvic bone. And that rounded thing there is a sternum from an emu. And it's got some chew marks on it too. And a couple emu leg bones. I get this horse over in Iowa this year. I like that. Kind of strange though, because I mean he's a big one. And yet these teeth, there's still teeth in there. It's not just holes. But they're not really sticking out. So I would have thought he was a juvenile. But that's a pretty good size. That's almost, I bet that's probably 2 foot. There's a partial horse with, you can see him in there, a couple of bullet holes, hooves, and really nice horse jaw. And then to come up to the old stuff, I've got my muskox. That's the back of his skull. That's the front. I think that's from a Titanothere. I found that west in Nebraska next to the road in a little washout. That's a cervical vertebra. Piece of a giant sloth rib. Baby mastodon jaw. Found different times, but in the same general area. Baby mastodon tooth. Some more mastodon teeth. And some chunks of mammoth or mastodon. Mammoth teeth. I like this guy. He's a nice big one. I haven't preserved it yet. I need to do something to it before it falls apart. My wife actually stepped over this guy thinking it was just bark laying in the mud. All she saw was this pattern. Oh, baby mammoth tooth. I like that. I found this conglomerate of ivory. It's all glued together, cemented with mud and sand. But those are chunks of ivory in there. More chunks of ivory. Just the tip. This nice big piece of mastodon tusk I got. That's heavy. Mammoth chin. It's either a mammoth or a mastodon axis vertebra. Nice big piece of leg bone. My bucket list, I still got to find a complete mammoth leg bone. That's one of my goals. I got this year. I don't know if it's a kneecap or if I was told maybe a foot bone. I'm not sure. I believe this is part of a mammoth sternum. It's bone. I mean, it's oddly shaped, but it's bone. It's not some slag or something like that. Now, this might be my all-time favorite so far. That horn up there isn't, of course, with this. I added that on there because it fit pretty well, and it just kind of shows how much bigger the actual horn is, the outer horn, than the horn core. But that is just so cool. I don't see any obvious signs of the chop marks, but that was definitely opened up by Indians to use the brains for tanning. Horn core tip to horn core tip, that is 22 inches. So it's just a modern, but really cool. Another really nice modern. He's 27 inches. This one's cool because he's got 3 different spots where he took some damage fighting for his girls. That's kind of cool. There's my unusual piece. I have no idea what it is. I make no claims about it. It's got 3 different kinds of stitching in there, and one of them is definitely modern. It's a nylon thread. But the other ones, they're different. There's 2 different kinds of leather threading in there. Maybe I'll turn this around and see if you can see it better. You can see that. You can see the nylon stitching there. And then, I'll just take this out. It's like some sort of rawhide or something. I don't know, just really unusual. And you can see there's no straps for carrying it. There's no way to tighten it down, so it can't be a papoose. I don't believe quiver. And either it was really old and repaired, odd, with like this plywood inside to hold the shape, or this was just a high school Boy Scout project or something. I don't have any clue what it was. It's just a really unusual find. Found it about 100 yards down from a bridge, buried in the mud. I got some leg bones. Nice big horse femur. I don't know if you can see them. Really crude butcher marks on there. Found that in Iowa several years ago. A couple buffalo bones. Bullet holes. So, less than a couple 100 years old, but pretty cool. And my locked deer skulls. God, I love those. I have them zip tied just so they don't fall apart with all my moving them around. Anyway. Hope it wasn't too shaky. Hope you guys like my collection. I've got a garage full of stuff that's eventually for sale, but this is all my good stuff. Thanks for watching.